the things that you do is medical algorithm to simplify complex diagnosis and treatment. So tell us about that. What inspired you to take this approach and what exactly is that?
So I always, when I was studying or when I teach my students, I feel like algorithms are very helpful because they create a structure which you can easily follow. And if you go down one pathway, things go this way. If you go down another pathway, things go that way. I always thought that it really helped me learn better if I could create an algorithm. So then I started doing algorithms on my own for everything, leading from physical examination findings to laboratories to treatment decisions. And I realized that I was learning much better by creating algorithms, as many as I could make. And so I realized that maybe, so one of the things that and I know as doctors is that the textbooks of medicine are full of algorithms. I mean, there are many algorithms. But the thing is, what I realized was that there are just not many enough. There could be many more diseases that can be taught much more effectively if you have an algorithm in place. So I decided that I was going to build more algorithms. And so I approached different publishers with this idea that I'm going to build more algorithms. And what I decided was that I was going to do a 10-minute video for every algorithm, because obviously the best person who can explain an algorithm is the one who has made it. So I had the best perspective. So I was going to explain my own algorithm in a short 10-minute video. And so there was a publisher that was interested in working on the project. So I worked with them. I think I ended up making like 40 or 50 algorithms on my own. And that project was very rewarding. But after a certain period of time, they didn't want to do it anymore. So I wasn't able to continue. But I think at some point, I want to get back with it. I think internal medicine or any field of medicine can really benefit from algorithms. And one of the things is actually, I see a lot these days on the internet, there is a demand for mind maps. There are a lot of websites and there are apps that are out there that help you create a mind map. Well, the mind map is nothing more than just an algorithm. I mean, it's the same thing. They create a mind map from left to right. An algorithm, if you do it, it's usually from top to bottom, but it's the same thing. Because if you just stop for a second and if you just think about how your mind works, all of our minds work in the shape of algorithm. If I do this, then this will happen. If I do this, if I do A, then B will happen. If I do X, then Y will happen. So we always know it. What is life all about is the choices we make. What are the choices? The choices are the algorithms. Should I go to school or should I go have a party? And then down the road, you realize what's going to happen if I go to school? What's going to happen if I don't go to school? Life is all about algorithms. And so I thought that it's the application of algorithm to medical education can be a very useful tactic to make sure the people learn the most in the shortest period of time.
So would you say it would be useful even for practicing doctors?
Definitely, because now we live in an age where we have electronic medical records, right? But the thing is that electronic medical records have their own algorithms. So they are based on the algorithms too. You can call it decision-making tree, or there are many different ways where you can put the name algorithm. You can call it a flow sheet. It goes by different names. But practicing doctors, definitely, why not? I mean, we make these choices every single day. Like if you have a cancer, we talk about if it's, all of oncology is algorithms that cancer is less than 1 centimeter, then you provide this treatment. If there is a local spread, you provide this treatment. What is that? That's all algorithms do. Every disease process, you can break down the treatment and even diagnostic techniques. Okay, you can do a blood count, and if the blood count is this much, then you do an X-ray. If the X-ray is bad, you do the CT, stuff like that. I think it just has to be standardized. And one of the things that I think is helpful is that if we have more algorithms, then we can standardize a lot of things across many different countries and different healthcare systems. Because we can have a basic algorithm that takes into account the most basic facilities that are available in most countries. and then we can have a more advanced algorithm for people who have better access. There is a lot of way you can play this game, and I think there is a lot of scope for improvement. But obviously, it's going to require initiative from the people who are ultimately responsible for spreading the knowledge to get this idea and to execute it in the proper fashion.
I think that's a very brilliant idea because how patients are treated, say, in the US, where you have access to so many treatment protocols, diagnostic tools, but in developing countries like yours, it's so basic. So you don't know how much of that protocol you can actually implement there.
Exactly. So you need different algorithms for different areas of the world, and that's also a good way to know what are your limitations. So if you are in a place where you need a different algorithm because you don't have the resources, then you should be working towards getting those resources so you can get to that point where you can use the more advanced algorithm. It gives you a target. If you have a different algorithm, then you have a target to achieve. If you don't have a different algorithm, you don't even know what to achieve.
Join disruptive doctors.